Hi, this video tutorial is to show you how to complete a Punnett square for traits that show a pattern of incomplete dominance. So incomplete dominance means that a heterozygous genotype, meaning that the alleles are different, a heterozygous genotype is not going to express a dominant allele over the other like it would in incomplete dominance, but rather it will be a combination of the two traits. So there is not one allele that is completely dominant over the other. They are incompletely dominant. So a combination of two different alleles will show a combination of the two different traits. You can see we use flower color as an example frequently for this type of problem. And then there are other traits too that show patterns of incomplete dominance. For example, chicken color. You can have black chickens, you can have white chickens, and if you have a heterozygous chicken with a black allele and a white allele, that chicken will look kind of bluish silvery, so sort of a combination of the black and white trait together. So let's do a Punnett square for incomplete dominance. Okay, we're going to use the flower example again. And you may have noticed that we write our alleles differently. The notation's a bit different than it was in the complete dominance problems. You can use the same notation as complete dominance, but I like to use the double letter with the superscript because then I know for sure this is an incomplete dominant trait when I see that notation. However, you could see it either way, so just make sure you're paying attention to what type of problem it is. All right, I'm going to start with a homozygous red flower. So I'm going to use the letter C to indicate that I'm looking at the color trait, and then I'm going to do the superscript for R to show that this allele is a red color allele. Now I'm using two letters, but this represents one allele, so it goes in the first column there. I said homozygous red, so that means both alleles are the same, so this one's also going to be a red color allele. I'm going to cross a red flower with a pink flower. In this case, pink means it's heterozygous. So you have to pay attention to the problem to know, but pink for this one is going to be a combination of both the red allele and the white allele. And the problem should tell you if a certain phenotype has a heterozygous genotype like this. So if pink is actually a combination of red and white, it should tell you that, because pink could just be its own thing, like color pink alleles. But in this case, it's a combination of red and white. So if I bring this allele down to both open spaces, and I bring this allele down to both open spaces, I bring these across, and for incomplete dominance, there is no correct order. You could put either allele in the first spot or you could put it in the second spot. It doesn't matter because we don't have dominant and recessive. Usually dominant goes first, but in this case, the order doesn't matter. Alrighty, so if we look at the probability of offspring color, we can see that we've got some red. This would be the phenotype, would be red for those two. And the phenotype for these two would be a combination of red and white, which would be pink. So there's no chance of getting any white flowers, and there's a 50-50 chance of getting red flowers or pink flowers. This, once again, is how you do a Punnett square for incomplete dominance.